Adobe just released Lightroom Classic version 15.4 with some great new updates, and in this tutorial we'll focus on three, including the much improved Select Subject, the new ability to find and automatically delete duplicate images in your catalog, and then do a separate part 2 video recorded in HDR to explore 16 versus 32-bit HDR images coming from Lightroom over to Photoshop. Let's begin with Select Subject. For this image, we'll go to the Develop module, and we can see the before state was this raw where I had to shoot pretty dark to keep detail in the sky. So there's a lot of deep shadow detail I had to recover and process to this version of the image. And at first glance, it looks pretty good, but this is not something I would consider print worthy. If we zoom in closer, notice this haloing around part of the tree here. It actually even, if we look closer, it's quite noisy in parts of the sky. And the reason for that is that I created a local mask for the sky that's just not perfect. If I go to my local masks, I created a local mask for the tree and it's just not perfect. If we go to my local mask, we'll go to the tree, and you can see I did a Select Subject and intersected it with a brush. Let's just hide the brush for a moment. That was just determining which parts of the tree got hit. The Select Subject here is clearly not that clean. It's falling into the sky. You can see the noise right here in the mask. That's where that's coming from. Spilling into the sky. If we move around this, there's bits of the sky here and here. This is very noisy. There's more sky here and here. This is really wrong in this parts of the sky. It's spilling in places it shouldn't be. And so as a result of that, my tree adjustment is falling into the sky. And that's where I get things like this haloing, is because that mask is not correct. Look how bright the sky gets from before to after, or down here, before and after. And we can do a much better job. This Select Subject was created with the old version of Lightroom before I updated, so it uses the old Select Subject. We can get a much better result now with the latest version of Lightroom just automatically by recreating this. So what I want to do is let's keep this and we'll create a virtual copy to do that update. So I'm going to right click, create a virtual copy, and we'll be able to compare this edit versus the original. So in here, let's go back into our local masks, and on the tree, I want to replace this with the new Select Subject. All I have to do is just Select Subject again and replace this. So I'll say Add, go to Select Subject. When I do this, I get the new version. And let's just show our overlays. You can see here's the new version. Look how clean that is. There's none of that problem there. Here was the original Select Subject. Here's the new Select Subject. That makes a huge difference. If we move around this image here, these little gaps in the tree here, here's the original. Here we've done a much better job cleaning that up. Or, like we had these chunks of sky here. Here's the original, not very clean. And here's the new version, much, much better. So let's put this in place. What I want to do is drag it down and take the original one and just go and delete it. And so now we've updated things. And all I had to do was create Select Subject. I automatically got the benefit with this cleaner result. And so now I'm improving the tree. I'm not spilling into the sky. If we move around here, for example, we had all that haloing. That's now gone. And if we want to compare these images, we'll just select them, hit C to compare. And I'm going to go put the original on the left and make it a little bit bigger. So you can see, look at that haloing we had with the old Select Subject versus the new is much, much cleaner. Here we've got this little bit of glow. This is a little bit off. There's some noise here. That's clean. This part of the sky that got bright, that's fixed. If we go look in here, look how bright this is compared to what it should have been. So we just get a much better result with the new Select Subject, and all you have to do is use it. Now, naturally, it does beg the question, what about the other AI masks? So I'm not going to create one, but let's just pull up the menu. What got better is Select Subject, but as far as I know, the other AI masks have not changed. They have separate models. So things like Select Sky, Select Landscape, I don't think they've changed. Select Objects, as far as I know, they haven't changed. Definitely Select Landscape is still giving the old results, and I'd love to see similar enhancements there as well. What's new is Select Subject, which is clearly much better than it was. And if you just use it, you automatically get the benefit. And if you've already created an image, you can just do what we did here. We just reselect it and just drag it into position to update your image. Let's go back now and take a look at the next feature, which will be our duplicates. And I'm going to go select 2 folders here. So across these, I have a bunch of images I've worked with previously on various tutorials, and I've created a lot of duplicates over the years when I make these folders. Well, it'd be nice to know, how can I find and delete these? Like right now you see them in order, but a lot of times they could be scattered around and they could be a bit hard to find. Well, there's been a lot of people asking for some automatic ability to find and delete these, and we now have that with this little icon down here, which is the new duplicates view. So I'm viewing the grid, but over in the library, we now have this duplicates view. And when I click this, what it shows me are all these little stacks are duplicate images. What it has found is there are 76 images here, but there's an additional 126 duplicates of them. I've created all this clutter over the years. And each of these are in a collapsed stack. So if I go and click on the edge of this, I can expand and see these are all the duplicate versions of this image. Now, these look different because they're processed different. If I were to go to the develop module and look at this image versus this image, there's going to be some change in the settings on here versus here. But the actual image on the disk, they're both that same DNG file. Even if they have a different name, it knows it's the same file. So it's looking at what is the underlying source there. Sorry about the jumping around. It's looking for what is the underlying source and finding that. It does not care what you did to the image. If you edit the image 10 different ways on the same original, well, those are still 10 duplicates of the original. So you want to find the one you want to keep. And in this case, I think this is probably the one that I would like to keep. I think these are kind of strange looking things I did. Well, if I want to keep this one, what I would do is right click and I get these options in duplicates view, and I'm going to go set as original. Now, when I do that, it goes to the top of the stack. If I collapse the stack, which you can do by clicking on these little edge bars or right click and you can, expand and collapse stacks. So collapse. So that is the version I'm considering the one I want to keep. But at any point, if I want to get rid of these, when I'm ready to commit to this, what I can do is right click on that image or that collection of images, and I go choose remove duplicates. And that will take this image and clean it up. So it's going to say, are you sure? And I'll say yes. And then here it's asking, do I want to just remove it from Lightroom or do I want to delete the underlying asset from the disk? And I want to delete it from disk so that next time I synchronize this folder, it doesn't come back. So when I choose this, it's gone. And I don't see any of them now because I'm still in the duplicates view. But if I go back to my grid, then here is that original. And these black and whites, these are different images. So it's only looking at things which are actual true duplicates. And that can get a little bit subtle. It looks weird because these do look like the same image, but somewhere in there is probably showing these black and white images, which are underlying TIFF edits versus this being a raw file. So it understands this raw file is fundamentally different from these TIFF images. Now let's look at a few more examples here. Up top here, notice I've got, looks like 7 different versions of these fireworks. If I go to the duplicates view, it's detecting them as 2 are identical and another 3 are identical. And then 2 of them just didn't show up. If I go look down my list here, I don't see it somewhere else. So I really have 5 images that are duplicated somehow, but 2 that are original. And if I go and look at these, when I look at the edit here, I got this TIFF, and then it's a different TIFF version. They seem like they're all TIFF, but notice the histogram here. See the histogram's moving around? So these different TIFF files, they're actually edited differently inside the TIFF. So I made a different edit in Photoshop, so the image coming into Lightroom is unique. It's not edits I did in Lightroom. So that's what this is really doing. It's finding images that coming into Lightroom are the same, and anything you do to them in Lightroom, it does not care. And that's where you can see that another example here with this cityscape. I deliberately made a few different edits of this. And if we go to the duplicates view, what we'll see for that is it found 2 duplicates of this image. It's this blue one and this purple one. But on disk, I've got 3 different images. So what I'm looking at here is this DNG, and here's a TIFF, and here's a DNG. So it sees these first and last one as related, but it knows the TIFF is different. So it doesn't detect this as a duplicate because there's only one of these, whereas this is a duplicate. Now, if I clean this up, I'll just consolidate to 1, but you can run into another situation here. I'm going to go and right click. Let's make a virtual copy. I just want to show you something here. If we go on this virtual copy, actually I made it one already, this yellow one. So now I have a DNG that's duplicated, and then there's a virtual copy of it. When I go to my duplicates view, it's not surfacing that as a virtual copy. No virtual copies are shown here. It doesn't tell me which image has a virtual copy. I would just be kind of cleaning that up here. So let's see what happens if I go and right click and remove duplicates. Say, okay, go ahead and delete from disk. Let's go look what we got. Well, it got rid of, well, it kept one and kept its virtual copies. So it's relatively, I think, safe for virtual copies, but you don't know what you're getting rid of. So that's just something to be careful of. I would love to see Adobe update this where the duplicates view would surface some visibility to the virtual copy, or somehow let us know in this view, like, are you working with, when I go expand this, do any of these have virtual copies? It'd be nice to have a little icon or something saying, hey, some other image you're not looking at depends on this. I love this feature, but I think it has a few little quirks to be careful of. The other one is, I don't know what the path is here. When I hover on this image, I can get some detail about it. If I want, I can go to my grid view, not duplicates, right click here and go to view options. And then I can turn on this top label, filtered for folder. When I do this, it's now telling me the folder. So when I do the duplicates view, now I can see which folder it's in. And that may be a little bit helpful to determine which one you want to keep. But I do find it a little bit tricky to figure out which one is in like my a given folder that I want to keep versus something I did for a class that I want to get rid of. So if you really want to understand what it is, you can right click and then you can go choose Show in Finder to go look what's the actual original. So a little bit of work here. I'd love to see this interface taken even further, but I think it's a great start in finding the duplicates in your catalog so you can clean them up. Next up, we're going to move on to looking at 16-bit HDR, but I want to show you this part of the video in actual HDR mode. And so for that, I'm going to stop here and jump to the next video I've linked below. We'll explore this part of editing with HDR video.